When most people think about what a footballer spends his money on, the first thing that comes to mind is cars. Fast ones, loud ones, the kind that makes heads turn when they pull up to a stadium. And yes, Lionel Messi has cars. He has extraordinary cars. But here is the thing that most people completely overlook when you actually sit down and look at where Messi's real money has gone. The cars are almost an afterthought. They are the smallest line on a very, very long receipt. Today, we are going to go through the most expensive things Lionel Messi actually owns, and by the time we are done, you are going to understand that this man does not just spend money, he builds empires. Let's start at the beginning and we will work our way up, because the numbers at the bottom of this list are already staggering, and the numbers at the top are almost hard to believe. The first item on our list is the Pagani Zonda Tricolore, valued at $4 million. Now, $4 million for a car sounds like the kind of thing that would make any normal person faint. But in the context of everything else Messi owns, this car is practically the most modest thing on this entire list. What makes the Pagani Zonda Tricolore special is not just the price, it is the exclusivity. Only 3 of these cars were ever built in the world. 3. The Tricolore was created as a tribute to the Italian Air Force aerobatic display team. And every single detail of this car reflects that heritage. The deep blue body, the gold wheels, the Italian flag stripe running across the hood, it is less of a car and more of a rolling piece of art. Pagani as a brand is already considered one of the most exclusive automotive manufacturers on earth, producing only a handful of cars per year. Each one assembled almost entirely by hand in a small workshop in San Cesario sul Panaro, Italy. To own a Pagani at all puts you in a very rare group of people. To own a Zonda Tricolore, one of just 3 in existence, puts you in a group of exactly 3 people on the entire planet. Messi chose this car specifically, and when you only make 3 of something in the entire world, the person who owns one is not just buying a vehicle, they are buying a piece of history. Still, as breathtaking as this car is, it is the least expensive thing on this list. That alone tells you everything about the scale we are dealing with today. Moving on, and already jumping up to real estate territory, the Castelldefels mansion in Spain comes in at $7 million. Castelldefels is a coastal town just south of Barcelona, and for years this was the family home where Messi, his wife Antonella, and their 3 sons lived during his time at FC Barcelona. What makes this property remarkable is not just its price, it is what it represents about who Messi is as a person. This is not some flashy penthouse in the center of a city. This is a private hillside home built for a family. It has a full-sized football pitch in the garden, not a small practice area, an actual football pitch, because this is Lionel Messi, and even at home, the game never truly stops. The house itself is modern and elegant, with sweeping views, a private pool, and plenty of space for 3 growing boys. It is the kind of home that tells you Messi's priorities have always been his family first. He could have lived anywhere in Barcelona. He chose the hills of Castelldefels, away from the noise, close to the sea. Now, when Messi made his move to Inter Miami and relocated his life to the United States, his real estate choices reflected that shift immediately. First came the Cipriani Residences condo in Miami, worth $7.5 million. The Cipriani brand is synonymous with elite luxury, originating from the legendary Cipriani hospitality family who built their reputation across New York and beyond. A residence bearing that name in Miami is not just an apartment, it is a statement. Floor-to-ceiling glass, panoramic water views, world-class amenities. This is the kind of address that only a very specific kind of person can call home. And then, almost at the same price point, there is the Regalia Tower condo, also in Miami, valued at $7.3 million. The Regalia is one of the most exclusive residential towers in all of South Florida. It was designed with the philosophy that only one residence should occupy each floor, giving each owner an entire level of the building entirely to themselves. Full wraparound ocean views, private elevator access, a building that feels less like an apartment complex and more like a collection of private mansions stacked in the sky. The fact that Messi owns properties in both of these buildings tells you that his move to Miami was not temporary. He is not renting. He is not passing through. He planted roots. And if those 2 condos were not enough, Messi also owns the Fort Lauderdale waterfront mansion, valued at $10 million. Fort Lauderdale sits just north of Miami, and is known for its vast network of canals and waterfront properties. It is sometimes called the Venice of America. A city built around the water in a way that makes waterfront living feel less like a luxury and more like the natural order of things. This mansion sits directly on the water, with a private dock, open terraces, and the kind of space that a family of 5 actually needs to live comfortably. Think about the difference between owning a condo, no matter how extraordinary, and owning a standalone mansion on the water with your own dock, and your own entrance, and your own garden. They serve completely different purposes. The condos offer prestige and city access. The mansion offers freedom and space. Between the Cipriani, the Regalia, and this Fort Lauderdale property, Messi has covered every angle of luxury living in South Florida. This is not a showpiece property bought for appearances. This is a home. A real, functioning, lived-in home for a man who simply happens to have the resources to make sure that home is extraordinary. Then we travel back to Europe, to the island of Ibiza, where Messi owns the Cala Tarita mansion, priced at $12 million. Cala Tarita is one of the most beautiful and secluded coves on the entire island of Ibiza, a place known more for its natural dramatic coastline than for the nightlife that Ibiza is often famous for. This mansion sits above the cliffs, overlooking the deep turquoise water of the Mediterranean, surrounded by pine trees and stone. It is a private paradise, the kind of place where you genuinely disconnect from the world. A pool that seems to spill into the sea, wide-open terraces, and a silence that only true seclusion can offer. This is where Messi comes to simply breathe. Also valued at $12 million is the Mayora 7C luxury yacht. A private yacht for a man who owns a cliffside mansion in Ibiza makes perfect sense. The Mayora 7C is a super yacht, sleek, white, and commanding on the water. It comes equipped with multiple luxury cabins, a sun deck, and everything needed to spend days at sea in absolute comfort. When you own a home on the coast of Ibiza and a yacht to explore the Mediterranean, the definition of a summer holiday changes entirely. Now we step into territory that most footballers never even consider. Messi does not just own properties, he owns hotels. Plural, the Hotel Mim Mallorca in Spain is valued at $20 million. Mim Hotels is actually Messi's own brand, a luxury hotel chain he co-founded and has invested in deeply. The Mallorca property sits right along the seafront, with a rooftop pool, modern Mediterranean design, and the kind of service that matches the brand's position in the market. $20 million for a hotel feels like a different category of wealth entirely. And it is. This is not someone buying a nice place to stay, this is someone building a business, and the business gets bigger. The Hotel Mim Ibiza comes in at $32 million. Set in the heart of Ibiza town, this boutique luxury hotel blends classic architecture with contemporary elegance. A rooftop infinity pool with views over the old town and the sea, beautifully curated interiors, and a reputation as one of the most desirable places to stay on the island. $32 million. For a hotel that Messi owns. Let that sit for a moment. Then there is Hotel Mim Sitges, valued at $34 million. Sitges is a charming coastal town just south of Barcelona, beloved for its architecture and Mediterranean atmosphere. The Mim Sitges property is a striking modern building that stands as one of the premium hotels in the region. $34 million makes it the most expensive of the 3 Mim hotels, and combined, these 3 hotels alone represent nearly $90 million in hospitality investments. Lionel Messi is not just a footballer with money, he is a businessman with a portfolio. Which brings us to the skies. Messi owns not 1 but 2 private jets. The Embraer Legacy 650, valued at $25.9 million, is the first. The Legacy 650 is a long-range business jet capable of flying intercontinental routes without stopping. It seats up to 14 passengers in a cabin that is configured like a private lounge, fully reclining seats, dedicated sleeping areas, premium catering, and complete privacy at 37,000 feet. For someone who has spent his career flying between continents for club and country, having a jet of this caliber is not an indulgence, it is a necessity. But the Embraer is not even his most expensive aircraft. That distinction belongs to the Gulfstream Phi, valued at $45 million. And it is the single most expensive item on this entire list. The Gulfstream Phi is one of the most iconic business jets ever built, ultra-long range, capable of flying from Buenos Aires to Barcelona without a single fuel stop, with a cabin that redefines what it means to travel privately. At $45 million, this aircraft costs more than every car Messi has ever bought, combined. Many times over, it is the crown jewel of a collection that spans cars, condos, mansions, yachts, and hotels across multiple continents. And that is exactly the point of this video. When you add it all up, the properties in Spain, the condos in Miami, the mansion in Fort Lauderdale, the yacht in the Mediterranean, the hotels in Mallorca, Ibiza, and Sitges, and 2 private jets, you are looking at a portfolio that runs well into the hundreds of millions of dollars. The cars, as spectacular as they are, barely register against that backdrop. Messi has not just earned generational wealth, he has deployed it with real intention, building businesses, securing properties across the globe, and investing in things that will still be generating value long after the last whistle of his career has blown. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel more than most people realize. Subscribe if you haven't already, because we cover the wealth, the lifestyle, and the business decisions of the biggest names in sports and entertainment every single week. Drop a comment below and tell us which item on this list surprised you the most. Was it the hotels, the jets, or did something else catch you off guard? We read every single comment. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.